Welcome to Havencrest. I'm Alan. Welcome to the Sculpture Salon, which some of you have seen, but most of you probably have not. And it's especially perfect for the video you're about to see because it fits what we're going to be talking about. And I'll get to that in a moment. But first I want to tell you how I came up with a simple phrase earlier this year, at the very beginning of the year, in early January. And that phrase is love creates. And you see it up here in neon. This theme of love creates, you know, the opposite of that would probably be hate destroys. But then a gentler, softer version would be indifference. Indifference makes things fade away. So love, true love, has a very different energy, powerful, eternal, cannot be created nor destroyed. And love, that energy, that builds, that grows things. It repairs, and most importantly, it continues. So I said this room is a perfect place to talk about this theme, and that's because when visitors come in this room, they walk around surrounded by my tabletop bronzes. But almost every sculpture in here, all the contemporary ones, they were created after a very long dormant period where I couldn't create. They were a kind of a renaissance for me. In fact, there's sculpture in this room called Renaissance. And that's because when Adrianne died, I couldn't create. I could barely do anything. But walking in nature, that helped a lot. And when I was walking in the Palisades, which you could see if you ever come to Savannah, it's just 8 minutes from Havencrest. Beautiful limestone bluffs where you see the Mississippi River. It looks like a lake at that point. It seems so wide. And something about nature is so healing, and I walked and walked, and I'd had this mantra, just keep moving. Alan, don't stop, keep moving. And you know, there's a tendency, of course, when you lose someone or something that's important to you, to keep looking back at it. And listen, I live in a box of Valentines here. There's no way I can't look back. The house is filled with memories. It's filled with all the things we created together. So it's impossible for me not to look back. But I do remember a little saying, which might be helpful to you too. And it goes, if you keep looking in a rearview mirror, you know, looking behind you, can't see what's in front of you. That's an important thing to remember, because you have to keep going forward. Life demands it. We must, we must go on. I mean, I thought about not going on, and so that's one option. I don't recommend it. My brother did that. I know he wouldn't choose it again if he had the chance. Yeah, I didn't want this to turn into such a heavy moment, so the theme, love creates. For decades, my wife Adrianne and I worked side by side to create this place. Not quickly, not easily, but faithfully. Room by room, garden by garden, dream by dream. We designed, we painted, we sculpted, we planted, we restored what had been forgotten, and slowly, over time, a house on a hill became something more, a home filled with imagination, beauty, and love. When Adrianne died, everything changed. I walked through these rooms that we had created together over decades, and at first they seemed to have lost their meaning. The sculptures stood in silence. My sculpting tools sat unused. The hallways felt empty. And the work we had done together was left unfinished. But as time passed, something unexpected happened. I began to realize that what we had created together wasn't gone. It was still here, and it was still beautiful, and it was still capable of inspiring people. And we opened it to guests, and visitors began to arrive. And they walked through the rooms, and they smiled, and they laughed, and they asked questions, and they shared their lives and their stories. And the rooms were filled with light and music again. And I began to see this place through their eyes. That period is when I realized that, love does not disappear when somebody is gone. It remains in what you created together, and it asks us to continue. In recent years, new people have come into my life, young people with energy, imagination, and kindness. They became partners with me in creation. Together we restored old rooms, we preserved what mattered, and we began building new spaces for future visitors to explore. We are not finished, not even close. There are still canvases to be filled, sculptures to complete, gardens to plant, and ideas waiting to become real. This place, Havencrest Castle, is not a museum of the past. It is a living work of art, still growing, still changing, still welcoming new stories. And now, this staircase, this spiral staircase that is new It looks old and antique, doesn't it? I designed it with hearts into the design, which you can see in the center of each stair. It's going up through a hole in the ceiling, and that's kind of interesting. But what awaits up there? New spaces, places I haven't even explored yet, because you could only get up there with a ladder. So only the carpenters went up there, because I fell off a ladder some years ago. Some of you know, broke my pelvis. And I was only 33 at the time. So luckily it all healed really nicely. Wouldn't want that to happen at this age. Don't think it would turn out the same way. So yeah, I've been waiting for the staircase so I can go up there and design and think about how to arrange the collections. This is the Gentleman's Tower. It's the one of two 5-story towers on the house. So people know about the Crystal Tower, which is on the VIP tours, and that was built in the 80s. And that's been open for a long time to our close friends years ago, but in very recent years, we started taking visitors up on the VIP tour. Well, so now we have another tower here that hasn't been explored by me even. And it's just so interesting because the collections that I've had in boxes, in storage, in the old Facemakers building, in the new Facemakers building, here in the house, in closets, are just waiting to come out and be arranged into the new rooms with the new decor that we're going to create. Really interesting stuff, unlike anything in the house. And I'm making new sculptures, new paintings, new objects of interest that are so unique. I'll give you a tiny glimpse. So this year I'm exploring this theme of love creates. And not just grand things like a spiral staircase in a 5-story tower, but simpler things. Repairing something, planting something to grow, a conversation with somebody, welcoming a stranger. Creation is how love stays alive. And if love is alive and we keep creating through it, then the story's not over. Life goes on and the work goes on. Wait till you see it. I'm excited. Thank you for coming back. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking. Thanks for commenting. It really helps this little channel grow, and I keep coming back and giving you more. And it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to invite you into my home through this channel and then through the front door on those special times of the year. See you next time.